Okay, welcome to this month's Recreation Committee meeting. Councilwoman Myers is present along with myself. So we have a quorum. Councilman Ward is absent, but still may arrive in time before the meeting is over. And staff is present. So I would like to call to order the meeting and acknowledge that the press and the public have been duly notified of the meeting in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act. First order of business, approval of previous meetings minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. Motion to approve.
Second. Any changes? It's good.
Not that time. No.
Therefore, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes. Next item is citizens' comments. Do we have any? None. Moving on, the department report by Assistant Director Farrell.
All right, so I'll just hit on a couple things. Adult sports started in the month of March, and they're all running smoothly. We are starting a new adult pickleball league. Registration for that is going on now, and that league will hopefully start April 22nd, which is a Friday. And this just gives the players an opportunity to play on not the tennis nets, that will actually set up the pickleball nets on the tennis courts that are lined for both. So we'll see what happens with that.
Can I ask a question on that?
Mhm.
Is it possible to allow people to use those nets when it's not an official, like put a deposit down? Because what's happening, you can get two people playing on pickleball court on
Right.
one tennis court if they have the nets.
Nets.
But if they don't have their own nets, then they take up two tennis courts and nobody can play tennis.
It's something we'll have to look into. They're not necessarily the easiest to set up on their own, and we're not always available to set them up or take them down. Sorry, talking to me. I thought I was loud enough. But it's something that we can look into to see if that's possible. I mean, if we're there.
Yeah.
So, but we'll look into that.
But yeah, having set up times is good also.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that will kind of help, with some of that too, is actually having the league where they can do standings and actually get some game time in instead of just the lessons.
Thank you.
Youth sports baseball season started last week, so that's all running smoothly. This week we have a spring break soccer camp, so we have about 50 kids in camp, 9 to noon with soccer this week. All classes running good. What else do we do? Online registration for summer camp. That happened March 14th. That was our first big online registration. I think everything went smoothly with that. We had a handful of people come in, not very many. Most of them trusted the online system. We had enough staff there that, kind of helped with phone calls if we received any to kind of troubleshoot with that, but it went very well. So our summer camp program is full. This weekend, we have the Easter Bunny brunch, both sessions. We have one at 9 and one at 11, and they are both full with 50 children as well. So they'll get to have some brunch, see the Easter Bunny, do a little egg hunt at the rec center. And then upcoming, we have music in the park in May, sand sculpting in June. And so we're just moving along with all those activities. And you guys have a calendar for the month as well. So,
and a total of 100 kids have signed up
for
the Easter brunch.
50 in each group. So,
Wow.
yeah, so we're excited about that. Do something a little different.
Any thoughts? Any questions?
Actually, I did have a question. I was mentioning to people the building the new pickleball court.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that will happen? Like, what would be the timeline for that? I'm not sure.
Well, I don't think we have talked about a timeline.
Okay.
Once the budget is ratified, we'll get a plan together, with procuring, you have to issue a prepared request for proposals, bid it out, see what the responses would get, we would get, and determine, what we're using I think a very intelligent estimate for the construction, but as we've seen, sometimes these bids come back a little bit higher. That process usually takes about 2 to 3 months between preparing the RFP, getting it out, I don't think we would want to do anything in the season. So if we start right in July, if that, the development of the RFP, we might be able to squeeze something in the off season. So
Okay.
it's ready for next spring.
Cool. Yeah, I
That
just
would be our goal.
had some people that were very excited about it, so.
Awesome.
I did give Norma Jean, a company that I used at Brickyard in Hamlin and Dunes West for our tennis courts. Howard B. Jones, I gave the man's name and number to Norma Jean for another bidder, but he also said that he'd be interested in just giving a ballpark number for our budget purposes. So I don't know where she's landed yet on it, but
Okay.
I knew she was going to be reaching out to him.
Well, that'll be good. That way we are confident in whatever number we end up including in the budget. And also any contractor that might be interested, knowing them is good, because we can proactively reach out to them and make sure they're aware of the upcoming RFP and that they, have it in their workload. That's very helpful.
Got it.
Awesome.
Just a friendly reminder to all of our residents, all of the activities, the calendar, all the events at the rec are online. Go to the web and check it out. Okay, nothing else. We'll move old business. We have nothing under new business. Discussion of celebration of the city's 70th anniversary. Just a little bit of background. This was brought up at our real property meeting last month by Councilman Streetman. And I believe it was an attempt to sort of marry with the Windjammer having their 50th anniversary. I think that's what he had mentioned. Then it was agreed upon to send this over to rec for more discussion. So that's why we've got it on the agenda. Personally, I don't know why we landed on 70. I think I'd rather see 75. So I don't know your thoughts.
Yeah, to me, 75 makes more sense. 70 is a little awkward. So, yeah, I mean, I think, because I feel like you want to have something for 75, but if you have something that's 70, then it's a little too close. So, yeah, it just, to me, makes more, the more that I think about it, it makes more logical sense to hold it off until 75.
I do as well. So do we need to do a recommendation?
It wouldn't hurt for this committee to make a recommendation after having, having it on the agenda, that your recommendation is that council consider doing a big celebration for the 75th rather than the 70th. And that way we take it back to Ways and Means, that it would be part of the budget conversation, if you will, and we can have broader discussion with the rest of the folks.
Wonderful.
That
Do I have
sounds
a
good.
motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to put it on Ways and Means. So I'm motioning to put it on the agenda at Ways and Means that we recommend waiting to 75. Is that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Passes. Next item of business, miscellaneous.
Chair, just before you all, something I forgot to mention during the report, and we'll talk a little bit more about this at Real Property, but the Recreation Department have coordinated with a meditation teacher to offer meditation classes in the new public dock. So starting in April 21st, we'll have meditation classes in the mornings. It's a Thursday at 8 a.m. Free for anybody who wants to join. There's free resident parking at the marina right next to the public dock. And we're very excited to increase the offerings for residents to kind of help introduce this new amenity to the community. So meditation Thursdays at 8.
Cool. And no need to sign up for that or anything?
No, ma'am.
Nice.
Okay, thank you. Next miscellaneous business, next meeting date, 12:30, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And-
12:30. The reason why we did not include a date there is sometimes in the summer, in the past, Recreation Committee has taken a break, if you will. That's when summer camp starts, a lot of activity at the rec. And what we have done in the past is unless there's an action item that requires the committee to vote on, we skip a month or two, depending on need. So that might be something you all want to consider. If not, we can schedule it for the regular meeting in May, which would be the first Monday.
So if we scheduled the first Monday, but we had nothing on the agenda, we could cancel it then?
We can do that too.
Which,
What's the easier? more
which
efficient-
way would you rather?
If it's scheduled, we advertise it. It's advertised in the paper and in the city calendar. So there is an expectation for people because they'll see it in the calendar. And then unless they go back and look at it and see whether it's been canceled or not, that way we only schedule those that we know we're going to have.
So it'd be better to just skip next month?
That's up to the committee. All we're saying is that because the budget will be approved we're hoping that there's a first reading this month and ratified in May. The budget, it's already going to be done, and I don't anticipate anything coming up that requires an action. So that is entirely up to the committee. I'm just, for the benefit of what we've done in the past, I know that it helps Norma Jean not to worry about another meeting when they're really ramping up summer activities and summer events.
I'm fine with skipping a month.
And I mean, if something came up that we needed to vote on, we could always just still schedule it. at a
Absolutely.
certain-
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, so we can actually schedule the June meeting, which would be, we just skip 1 month and meet in June.
Okay.
At that time, we can also decide if there's no business, to skip until July, but I think we want to maybe meet for June. And then unless something else comes up before, we can go ahead and schedule and notify everybody and put it in the calendar.
Excellent. Do we need a
So
motion and vote or?
No,
Okay.
so then the first Monday in June would be the 6th.
that, that may be my son's graduation.
Okay, you want to do the
That's the
13th?
last week of, I think. Does anybody know Charleston County School? District?
Their last day is June 2nd. First and second are half days for them.
Okay, it's the week before then. Okay, so we're off earlier. So that June 6th will be fine.
Okay,
Just
I-
to ask you, so that means if you're saying it's the week before and on Monday, that's Memorial Day. May 30th. Would it be?
No, their last days of school are the week before. I thought we went farther into June for school.
oh,
Yeah, so they're done.
They're on the second.
Okay.
And if something comes up, we can move it.
yeah,
We can move it a week.
we'll put it on the
That-
calendar
that should
now
be
as
fine. The 6th should be
June
fine.
6th
Yeah.
at 12:30.
Okay, with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all those in favor?